Matthew Knight's won the toss for the Tigers, and the Tigers are going left to right of screen in the first quarter. Hardly any breeze to speak of. A still cool night in Melbourne. Blakey can't get a possession. Nobody can out of that. And the umpire will come in and ball it up. And I think the boys will warm it up right from the word go.
They will, Drew. And John Longmire has gone to full back on Jurica. And that puts Corey McKernan down in the forward line for North Melbourne.
There's Deere, can't quite get boot to ball. Broderick for the Tigers. He can't get boot to ball. I don't think we're kicking the game yet. And the umpire will ball it up again.
Well, you'd have to think that North Melbourne would be striving as hard as they could to make sure the Tigers don't get away to the start they did from earlier in the year. Is Jenko in the ruck up against Greg Deere. Neither one can get an effective tap out. Bauer did an airy. Away goes King for North Melbourne. He kicks towards centre half forward. A terrific mark taken by Callaway. Callaway played his 50th game for the Tigers last week, and he stands up regularly across that half-back line for Richmond. His kick goes towards the wing on the members' side. Spills back towards the centre of the ground. Robert Scott under pressure. Matthew Rogers gets the hand pass away. Blakey. Campbell applies the pressure. The ball spills. Laidley couldn't get clear. Matthew Knights. Now Daffy. He looked pretty determined in the rooms before the game, Nick Daffy. He kicks it in the right forward pocket, but the mark is taken back there by John Longmire.
Going to be a great confidence booster for Johnny Longmire. He's had both ends quite regularly during the year. Good start.
Kicks it back out towards the wing. Greg Deere backing into the pack, but Archer, the free kick has been given away by Tape, and Archer is the recipient.
Glenn Archer in between half-back and wing. The kick up short of half-forward to Carey, who was too quick for bullets on that occasion. Tries to get around him, and does so brilliantly. Carey from centre wing, thumps a long one. Inside half-forward. Bit of body work down there. McKernan can't take the mark. Bond gets back there. Allison almost. Back to Allison. It doesn't quite make it. The first score tonight is a point.
I think there's a free kick, actually.
It will be a free kick. There's no score for that. And Bond will take the free kick near the edge of the goal square.
Chris Bond, maybe when he was trying to get that hand pass away, interfered with by his North Melbourne opponent. He kicks it 50 metres out near the wing. The gather there was by Tate. He was grabbed a little high, so Jamie Tate takes the free kick. He can go in towards centre half back if the umpire just opts out the road. Prescott marks and plays on. His long kick is towards centre half forward. The contest, the ball spills to the back. Charles, a free kick again, just where the marking contest was, 50 metres from the Richmond goal. It'll be taken by Brendan Gale. Now, Brendan Gale is a long kick of the football. There's no one back in the square. He's going to go for goal. He gets onto it. It's at the back. Nearly the mark taken back there by Big Jurica. And it's forced through for a rush behind. And North Melbourne's bench, Anthony Rock, Stuart Anderson and Young Simpson. The kick in has been marked by Ian Fairley.
Fairley still in the back pocket. Now a long kick up short of centre wing. Gale can't quite mark. Allison has it taken away from him by Dundas. Richmond going forward. Well done Prescott, but the hand pass knocked down by King. Bauer back to Prescott. Up towards half forward. Long kick to the pocket. Jurica. Play on, says the umpire. Here's Chris Naish. Snaps for goal. It's pretty good. Just offline. Tigers 2 points, North yet to score.
The Richmond bench with Stuart Edwards there, Stuart Maxfield returning from a broken jaw, and Mark Miranda.
Ross Smith kicks the ball in for North Melbourne and fairly straightforwardly finds King. King is outside 50 metres. His kick goes close to the centre of the ground. Archer trying to take the ball with him as he crashes his way through. Goes after it again. Fearless type player is Glenn Archer. He's at the bottom of the pack, scrambling to clear the pack of players there. Unsuccessful. Umpire will bounce. Well, it's a line ball. It's right across the centre of the ground, about 15-20 metres towards the outer wing. Attempted kick forward by Bauer, taken by Schwass. Schwass's hand pass to a vacant wing area. The ball spills fairly, applies a good shepherd. Armstrong tries to get it to Schwass, and it's helped over. Chris Bond looks as though he's got the big job there on Wayne Schwass.
Yes, he has, Robbo, and some of the others are Matthew Knight and Robert Scott in the centre, Matthew Dundas and Anthony Stevens, and Chris Naish and Rossi Smith in the forward line for Richmond.
It'll be pretty nippy tonight, down to 7. Knights takes the ball to the boundary line and will have a throw in. Wonderful season again, Matthew Knights. North favoured 2-1 on. Richmond odds against, as they've been so often, but they keep playing against that because they've only lost 4 times in 18 rounds, and they're in second place.
Coming up, don't they?
Shocking all the so-called experts. Tate to Bauer. Kick by Bauer. Drops short of the mark. Laidley's there to punch the ball away, but hasn't cleared the area. Gale gets it back. Bauer followed up. Here's Knights beating a tackle. Approaching the 50. Short pass on the bounce to Charles. Missed him altogether. Naish. Great pickup. Might have taken a free. And then 2 of them get him. Ball, say the crowd. Umpire says, yes, give me the ball. I'll throw it into the turf.
Not a bad sign, Terry. Chris Naish just nipping in a couple of times early in the game to crumb those kicks into the forward line.
Yeah, most important player at Naish in terms of getting those quick goals from half forward.
Campbell takes the crumbs. His kick is, well, it looked as though it was going to land inside the boundary line, but maybe just a little bit of breeze blowing there. Carried it over the line. Free kick in the left back pocket for North Melbourne, taken by Fairley. Fairley's kick in the direction of Hischenko, punched away by Charles. Bond combines with Campbell. Campbell's kick, nearly the mark taken by Smith. It may be a free kick to Ross Smith.
Naish was about to kick a goal, wasn't he?
It's a great setup for Chris Naish at the moment with all those tools of Jurica and Charles giving the contest right in the goal square.
Well, Jurica had his back to the ball, crashed into Longmire and gives away the free kick. So Longmire, who's been leading goal kicker at North for the last 5 years, finds himself at full-back in place of Mick Martin. Not going to kick too many goals from there. A dive by Carey and a great mark at centre wing. His second for the night. Anderson's come on for the Kangaroos. The kick by Carey, plenty of distance. Archer, off hands to Tate. Tate's left-footed to centre wing. Well, Carey left his man Bullis. The kick was disappointing for Bullis. Carey's kick bumbles. Armstrong knocks the ball forward. North inside the 50. John Blakey back to the goal square. Up for grabs. Allison, a snap and a goal. So North get the first goal. It took 7.5 minutes. And at this stage in the first round meeting, Richmond were 5 goals to nothing.
So in that context, North Melbourne have done very well at the start here. Matthew Dundas has the job on Allison, and here's the roving contest here. Allison does this so very well. Last week, 4 goals straight, with at least 2 of them very good like that.
Yeah, North Melbourne have swung a second change while we were coming back from that goal. Young Stevens is on the ground. This is King for the Kangaroos. Kicks it towards full forward. Simple mark. Already a problem is Wayne Carey. 4th mark. And his 4th kick coming up.
You're looking very dangerous early, and it's a delicate situation for Coach John Northey now, with Bullis being there as to whether he rolls Scotty Turner over, who's very much in form.
Well, Carey really should kick this goal. He's only 35 metres out, pretty well straight in front. Just goes off to the right. And through for a behind kick by the North Melbourne captain. There's John Northey in picture.
Tough time in this early part for a coach. He spent all week getting his side settled, picking it the way he expected the matches to go, and sometimes you get tempted to throw it around perhaps a little bit too early.
Turner goes straight down the ground. It's not going to come off. Hischenko tries to get the hand pass away. Schwass. Now Blakey from inside 50. John Blakey bangs away with the left foot. He's offline. Through for another behind to North Melbourne. And they lead by 6 points. Dennis Pagan, Mark Dawson, Tony Elshaw in the coach's box there for the Kangaroos. North Melbourne lead by a goal early in the first term.
Turner, who thrashed Dunstall last week, kept him goalless. Off hands, Deers there. He's got it now, the former Hawthorn Premiership player. Floats one over the top. Robert Scott, he's played every game this year for the Kangaroos. Clever kick on the chest of Anthony Stevens. He gets round on the left. 55 metres out. Penetration with that. Touched. Free kick. Free kick in the goal square to North. And Carey will kick for goal. An amazing stat in this game so far is there have been 10 marks taken in total for the game in 12 minutes. And Carey's taken 4 of them. And the Richmond fans are not happy. Wayne Carey missed a shot he might have and should have got about a minute ago. And this from a free kick right in front to give the Kangaroos their second goal. Much better start North tonight than in round 4. 2-2 to 2 points.
Well, Scotty Turner has probably every right here to feel a little bit disappointed and even angry towards the decision. He works extremely hard here, pushing back, and really it was an accidental contact across the back of the head there. And I think the goal umpire should have been the one to keep control and have it touched for one behind rather than the free kick being awarded to Carey.
Gee, I'd like to see a few of those free kicks given around the middle of the ground.
And Turner's come out to Carey to centre half back. Yeah,
fair enough. Looked as though Bullis was going to have his hands full. Greg Deere gets the tap down, but it's forced forward for North Melbourne. And Carey again, 5th mark. Looking to just crib a few precious centimetres there by indicating that the man on the mark not cheat over. Carey from 55 metres gets underneath it, off to the side. It's in the forward pocket, taken by Scott. His kick to the front of the goals has been marked by Greg Deere. Gets around pretty easily. Short kick finds Turner. Looks to play on. Now he does so and kicks wide towards the members' wing. Out in front is Brendan Gale. He gathers the ball quite nicely. Can go in towards the centre of the ground. Well done. Good kick. Little risky, but it was accurate. Matthew Knights has taken the ball. He's been called to play on. Sweeps around onto the left. Now he's onto the right. Kick it quickly, he does. Squeezes a mongrel puck kick towards full forward. Longmire, taken by Fairley, gives away ground. It'll bounce awkwardly, but well done, Roberts. Gets it wide to Laidley. Laidley's hemmed in close to the boundary line. Squeezes a kick out. Back towards the wing. Deere couldn't take the mark. It's Campbell. One of the Brownlow medal favourites is Wayne Campbell. He's kicked towards full forward. Knocked away from Jerica. Back towards centre half forward. Pushed forward by Rogers. Then Bauer. Back it goes to Jerica. Now Campbell. A scrambly kick. It's in the pocket. It could be taken by Longmire. It's not clear. Over the line for a boundary throw-in about 25 metres around from the Richmond goal. Justin Charles in picture. Richmond have struggled. They've managed just 2 behinds. North Melbourne 2 goals 2. Maybe a bonus goal to Carey. Boundary throw-in, nearly taken by Rogers. Anthony Stevens will lock it up there for North Melbourne, about 35 metres from the Richmond goal.
You don't get too far when Anthony Stevens is your opponent, the leading tackler for North Melbourne, and they're strong and hard in on the smother.
Gale wins the tap, comes down to Broderick. Off the right boot, it bounces right for him. Don't often see Broderick turn that way, but when he bounced it in the goal square, there was nobody back there to stop it.
Well, it's always a good get from a boundary throw, and you see there Benny Gale pulls the ball over the back, looking for the space, and Broderick is the man to be there, and against the flow with his unnatural right foot, is able to roll it through. Great spot to be in. (14-8).
The Tigers getting their first goal after 14 minutes. Free kick. Ashenko comes out. Armstrong up towards the 50. Turner spoils Carey, and another free kick to Wayne Carey. And the Richmond fans hooked him.
They say when your intention is to mark the ball, you can do whatever you want to do in order to over the man in front. Here, Scotty Turner's only intention was to spoil, and he's been penalised for wanting to only do that.
Well, the crowd booed twice, once live and once on the replay. Carey for his second goal, 53 metres out, a magnificent kick. A centimetre short, just off the hands and through for a behind. But Wayne Carey's already had 7 kicks in 15 minutes.
And you look here, Scotty Turner's eyes are only for the ball. His arm came well back, straight through with the punch, incidentally over the shoulder. That should not be a free kick when your intention is only to spoil the ball.
Could quite easily sap the Richmond players' confidence, but he's gone back to kick the ball in. Another free kick to North Melbourne. Be interesting to see the free kick situation at this stage, Terry.
8-3.
8 free kicks for North Melbourne, 3 to Richmond. This is Stevens, kicks it towards centre-half forward. A contest. Bond tries to get it away. Armstrong's kick across his body. They're nearly marked by tape, but Archer provided a contest and forced a behind for North Melbourne. North fans rugged up. We've already seen that the temperature may get down pretty low tonight. That's the only thing wrong, if there's anything wrong with the conditions. It's just a little cold. But you'd have to say, with the flags fairly limp on the main scoreboard, that it's pretty well nigh on perfect conditions. The ball goes out towards half-back flank area, taken by Broderick. Forced to kick again with the right foot, knowing that he's a natural left-foot kick. Not clear by the North Melbourne strong half-back line. Armstrong gets it into the path of Ross Smith, nearly run down by Callaway, which was good because he gave Bond the chance to mop it up. And Chris Bond, that's not a bad little kick either. He was under pressure from Schwass, gained about 15 or 20 metres and forces a boundary throw in. Centre breaks there, Terry. Any significance there?
Been quite decisive. Alex Dashenko is jumping well at the centre bounces, and here you'll watch, he'll just use pure body strength.
But Deere beats him on this occasion. Rogers at ground level. Ball was just flipped by Freeborn. Grabbed by Knights. The hand pass is good to Broderick. This time off his favoured left boot. It bounces to full forward. Longmire met it beautifully and thumps it back to centre half forward. McKernan, is that a push? Comes to Turner. A choice of Richmond players. Broderick. Dundas is gone. The tackle is high, and that's all that saved him.
Well, that makes that 8 free kicks to 4, and Matthew Dundas breathes a sigh of relief, I would think.
Gale gobbles this one up just forward of the wing. 2 kicks to goal from there. He looks for Jerica, the youngster, who's playing on Longmire. Longmire does well. Daffy, number 10. Oh, Laidley. Let the ball get behind him, but the whistle's gone. It's a high tackle and a free kick to Dean Laidley. And Richmond having a tough time of it. Daffy shakes his head.
Laidley in the left back pocket. Kicks it out near the wing. Ball bounces just a little awkwardly. Blakey tries to scrounge a kick out of there, but well smothered off the boot. And at least it's kept in Richmond's forward half. Tiger fans, they've had plenty to shout about so far.
Obviously been buying the merchandise too.
Yes, in this football season that promises plenty. Nick Daffy can't get the hand pass clear. Greg Deere, now Prescott. High kick, Bauer. Contest provided by David King. King off the left foot. Kicks in the direction of Carey. Too strong. Gets rid of. Free kick against him this time. Well, Richmond fans pretty happy. Carey looks a little nonplussed, but he's quite prepared to give the ball up quickly. And coming back on the mark, as directed by the umpire, free kick to Turner. Turner's kick, set half forward, high fly by Gale, but a good mark. An excellent mark and a finish taken by Blakey. Gets the hand pass away. Schwass running beautifully. Runs away from Bond. Kicks with the right towards half forward. It's punched away. Chance here for Matthew Knights. Little handball. Bowers in a bit of strife. Gets the hand pass away to Callaway. Campbell in strife. Good pressure provided by King. North Melbourne forwards working tremendously hard to keep the ball in their scoring area. Now a chance for Dundas. His kick across his left shoulder. Not quite able to be gathered there by Campbell, was it? No, Daffy. He goes after it again, Nick Daffy. Laidley providing the pressure. Laidley quite content to knock it over. He's going to be penalised for not just camouflaging that at all. And the Richmond free kick will be taken by Nick Daffy.
So here we see Dean Laidley, and the problem with it is that he goes directly towards the line. He needed to work it a little bit either way so it wasn't as direct at the line.
Off hands, it comes to Rogers, who finds himself in a bit of space. Inside the 50, Jurica in front of Longmire. Bit of a fumble by the youngster. Ross Smith gets back to help. He goes up the ground. Roberts is there. Meets Jurica. It was a decent sort of a clash. And the ball out of play. And we'll have a throw in. He's a big boy, isn't he, Jurica? 19-year-old from South Fremantle. And tonight playing just his 9th game. Boundary throw in. Broderick works through the pack, applies the tackle, but it was a push in the back. North Melbourne free kick, and Wayne Schwass to take it. Back behind half-back. Richmond haven't had the start they wanted, like they got in their first meeting. It's North 2-4, Richmond 1-2. Haven't had any scoring for a little while. Centre wing, kicked by Robert Scott, goes past McKernan. Allison, good hand pass to Stevens. He fires one up the ground. A chance here for Mark Stevens. Misses with the handball. Archer, good pick up. Again he goes for the boundary line. And this time a throw-in. What's the difference?
I was watching that umpire officiating there, Wheels, and I thought he was going to give the free kick again against North.
Yeah, I think he thought about it. He really did. And Glenn Archer looked straight at the line again.
Boundary throw-in. Ruckman contest. Ball spills. Chance for Bullis. Had a very difficult job early on Carey. Kick forward by Broderick. Close to the line. Contest there by Gale on Fairley. Fairley's hand pass finds Rock. Rock's kick across his left shoulder has been marked safely by Jamie Tate. He looked to transfer play. Had a chance with Callaway, who is left of where Jamie Tate is now at centre-half back, but Tate decides to go down the line. He kicks over the wing. Nearly taken again by Rogers. Knights gets the handball. Brendan Gale. Well, not bad either. Naish wide as still. Daffy, beautiful running. The handball was sensational. Daffy's kick to the square. It bounces over the top and through for a behind to the Tigers. 1-3 plays 2-4. And we're close to the time on period in the first term. 4 minutes left.
Umpire Coates having a word here with Wayne Carey. And Carey, as the captain, I suppose, is entitled to have a word to the umpire. 6 minutes between scores. Prior to that behind. Kicked by Richmond. Schwass from half-back for North. He's playing on Bond. And the two club best and fairest are slugging it out. That should be a magnificent duel. Kellaway up towards half-forward. The baseballer. Charles inside 50. What a goal! That is a home run over centre field.
He's an effervescent type, isn't he, Justin Charles?
Well, that's my boy.
Terrific stuff.
I love him. 36 games at Footscray Football Club, Justin Charles, and this is what he does best. He's agile for a big man, quite prepared to take them on there as if he's turning the third base and heading towards the home plate. He's made the home plate. Let him know, Charlesy.
Yeah, terrific stuff there by Justin Charles to get Richmond's second goal. They trail by a point. And from the centre bounce, nothing happening.
Our co-commentator particularly chuffed with that one. What role did you play in his career, Wheels? Got him to Footscray?
Charlesy was one of my favourites. Out of under-19 football, did it long and hard. 36 games there, but tremendous play. Give you everything.
Well, chance here for North Melbourne. No, the umpire has picked a free kick out. It's holding when he didn't have the football. Goes to Tate. Kicks wide to left half-back. Campbell has made good position. Has marked. Kicks down towards the half-forward area. Great gather by Gale. And a good tackle by Ian Fairley. Well done, Fairley. Looked as though he's going to be beaten pointlessly for that, but he recovered his position and has been awarded the free kick. He's on centre wing. Got the baseball of the postman. We've got anyone else out there, Drew? We'll work it out as the night goes on. And the ball held up there.
We got the king.
Yes.
Carey with 7 kicks. He is just reigning over this game like a... He's giving it the regal touch.
A lot of possessions for the centre-half forward and captain. Callaway comes away from half-back. Kicks it back towards centre-half forward for the Tigers. It's punched away. Back towards the centre of the ground. Anthony Stevens maybe just finessing a little bit too much there. The ball spills now for Schwass. And he can't do much with it. Boundary throw will take place right at the entrance where North Melbourne came onto the MCG. Of course, Richmond from the opposite side of the ground and young Stevens back on the bench for the Kangaroos.
Prescott for the Tigers. There's Charles, but this time out marked by Roberts. Mark Roberts floats the hand pass to Longmire. It's coming back. The second umpire from the middle of the ground comes in and has something to say.
I don't think that's a mark. I think he's indicating it might have been touched off the boot. Now he'll come in and maybe tell the other umpire that it's got to be bounced.
So the umpire in charge of the centre of the ground overruled the man who was in the zone, and the man in the zone is Mark McKenzie in his first season. So he's going to ball it up. Roberts takes clean possession on the chest of Deere, who drops the mark on the cricket pitch area. Knocked up the ground at Bauer. Standing start kick. Jurika a chance. They work to the back, the Tigers. Here's Bond trying to keep the ball in, but he can't. And we'll have a throw in the forward pocket. Discarded by Carlton, best and fairest at Richmond. And he'd be one of John Northey's favourites, and he sends him out on a task every week, and tonight he's got North's best and fairest, Wayne Schwartz.
Gee, ruck work by Gale, terrific for Campbell. Bauer, left foot snap. Back goes Longmire. Roberts gives away behind. Fantastic ruck work by Brendan Gale from the boundary throw-in.
Yeah, he contributed to the earlier goal to Broderick, and there he is again. It's great when you've got a centre-half forward the size of Benny Gale and can do all that and allow Greg Deere to prop back and build up the defensive wall.
Kick in has been marked by Matthew Armstrong. Could be playing on Knights. I just made a point that Broderick and Armstrong, two of the very, very good midfielders for their respective teams, and both, of course, ex-Lions. There's Broderick going after it. The kick out. Blakey. Good running provided and support by David King. King goes towards full forward. Kick is a bit short. Gathered by Tate. Gets it to Dundas. Dundas's quick kick. Out towards a vacant half-back area, running fiercely and determinedly at the football was Turner. He was one out. He was in trouble if he didn't get to it. He got to it, knocked it clear, much to the appreciation of the fans here at the MCG. He is just one of the real good players of AFL.
What a competitor. And last week he fronted back up to Jason Dunstall, who had 2 years ago kicked 8 of 17 against him, but he's back in it again, Scotty Turner.
Bit of a fumble here by Bauer. Actually gets his own footy back. Kicks it up to the centre. Campbell with Stevens. Stevens paddles the ball out. There's Campbell in after it again. Great desperation by the Tigers. Well done. Rogers over the top to Knights. Left footer by Knights. Jurika is there with Longmire. Johnny Longmire's got the mark. And the kid is having a bit of trouble with John Longmire.
Richmond have really taken the ascendancy here. It's only been Longmire and Roberts deep in defence who have held them up.
The kick back over half-back. Ashenko can't take the mark. Little hand pass. King to Scott. Kick by Scott to centre-half forward. Carey. Punch was good again by Turner. He's almost going to come up with it again. But off the ground, McKernan. The siren sounds. Allison is down hurt right on the siren. But at quarter time, would you believe, the Tigers got back level, 2-4 apiece, and the stats are back level, and down goes Allison in that clash right on the siren. But fortunately, he'll have a few minutes to recover. Well, North started like a rocket, with Carey in particular on fire, having his opponent moved. But the Tigers came back and found themselves at quarter time, Terry, level.
It has been a very good start. Firstly, Allison and then Carey scoring the goals for North Melbourne, and then Broderick through the great work of Benny Gale in ruck at the boundary throw-in, and then Justin Charles on the run. The game has ebbed and flowed. North Melbourne had control for a period, but I just felt in the latter part of it, the game belonged to Richmond, but good defensive work from Longmire and Roberts was holding them up.
And once again, we look like we're in for a great night. Friday night football, 2-4 each. So we start all over again with the scores level, and the crowd making plenty of racket here on a still cool Friday night at the MCG. First kick out of there, Stevens. Might just give him a stat for it. Knights round the corner. Rogers leads the race. Freeborn number 17 for North Melbourne, and the ball goes over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw-in.
Drew, the most significant move at quarter time was John Northey taking Stephen Jurika off from full forward, and Stuart Edwards, who came in as an emergency for John Howard, has gone to full forward.
The ruckmen do battle. Deere might have slightly won that, although Gale did well in a couple of contests in the first quarter, and we'll have a ball up. Leading stats winners in the first term. There's Edwards on the ground to start the second term. Bauer and Campbell, 8 possessions for Richmond. Knights 7, Tape 6 for North Melbourne. Carey 5 marks, 7 kicks. Armstrong and King both 6 disposals.
Big punch by Ischiko. Callaway and Knights. Knights may be retarded, but the umpire allows play to go on. Taken by Rock, tries to get back onto his right foot. Armstrong tackled by his fellow number 14, Greg Deere. Deere just keeps on going at it. Armstrong is underneath all that. Matthew Knights asked the question. Umpire Chris Mitchell not really interested and will bounce between wing and left half forward. There's Stephen Jerica on the bench.
Campbell coming off here with blood.
Wayne Campbell to just have a bit of a spell for a while. So it looks like blood on his left arm. Is that a cut on his left arm maybe, or coming from...
No, off his eye.
From his eye, yep. So he'll be patched up and thrown back into the fray shortly, I think. And Maxfield, some big cheers from the Tiger fans as Stuart Maxfield runs onto the ground. Of course, a broken jaw against Essendon when the draw occurred here a few weeks ago. And he looks as though he's one of the favourites of the Tiger supporters.
Well, let's wish him well. He's missed 3 games. He's got a plate in that jaw. So you'd reckon if the game's fair to him a professional, they might have to test him out.
Well, very quickly, Anthony Stevens just letting him know that he's going to find it difficult to get into it. Off the ground by Schwartz to centre half forward. Gathered by Carey. Tackled by Turner. Is that throwing the ball? Yes. And Carey questioning. It looked pretty obvious from here. Turner with the footy. Comes to the near side. Matthew Knights has made good position. He'll sweep around onto his left foot. Again for about the 3rd or 4th time. Is that an unfair shepherd by Justin Charles on Robert Scott?
It was Charles and Scott. Where else was he going to get him but high?
Charlesy was caught here when Matty Knights turned to go back onto his right. He was protecting him to come on his natural left foot.
Carey claiming the mark, so even though he had a decent go with the umpires early, not everything going Wayne Carey's way at the moment. And there's Wayne Campbell receiving treatment for the cut over the left eye. Let's hope it won't be too long, because he did have a good first quarter with 8 possessions. Schenko wins this. There he goes, Stewie Maxfield. Gets his first kick for the night. Well done. Up towards centre wing. Charles does brilliantly. Kicked a magnificent goal in the first quarter. Dashes away and kicks to half forward. Off hands, Edwards. Clears a path for a teammate, Bauer. King is there. On the bounce to Longmire, he had to wait for it. Wide to Laidley. And North working the ball out of defence. Look at this. Unmarked on centre wing is Anthony Stevens. About 30 metres in the clear. He brings it right up. Kicks long. Carey. Tape. A brilliant punch away. Maxfield. And I think he was tested out a little bit then, but he did well to Callaway. And Callaway's kick up to centre wing where Laidley marks for North.
Dean Laidley with the football. Swings onto his right foot, kicks it towards centre half forward, but in front is Greg Deere. Good mark. 50-metre penalty. A wry smile against Carey. Came in just a little late, but gee, I quite wonder.
So here he comes.
Oh, come on.
I think he was coming through. He's probably shouting, trying to frighten him.
Now, Greg Deere has played on quickly. Tate, good running. He's going to have a shot for goal. Greg Deere's pass was good. And I don't blame you, Wayne Carey. I reckon that was a very, very ordinary 50-metre penalty.
He played and missed outside the off stump.
Exactly. And Greg Deere did well. He stood his ground. I don't think he's the sort of player that would come up and appeal for anything untoward. So now Richmond have a chance to get the first goal of the second term through Jamie Tate. His kick for goal will clear the players on the line, and it is a goal to the Tigers. But Jamie Tate, the half-back flanker for the Tigers, has kicked, well, you'd have to say one of his rare goals in AFL football.
Well, it's that rare. In fact, Robert's only been 3 in his career, and 2 this year, and the first one was way back in round 1. So, but aided by that 50-metre penalty, a questionable 50-metre penalty against Wayne Carey. Good goal from Tate.
Jamie Tate takes up his position in the back pocket, and he's just kicked that goal. Broderick goes out of the middle. Daffy goes to ground. So it leaves a path for Roberts. Hand pass a little bit short of the mark. McKernan. Oh, well done by Bond. Magnificent football. Kicked by Bond, 40 metres out. It's punched inboard. It goes to Schwass. He claps on the gas, Wayne Schwass. Puts the ball out in front of David King. He comes inside Dundas and kicks to centre half forward. Scott is there and Archer charges at it. Blakey. 2 against 2 on the edge of the square. Carey backs into them. Oh, magnificent play by Carey. A snap is good. He's kicked his second. He's had a controversial night with the umpires, but the bloke can play.
Well, how aggressive is this from Wayne Carey? This is his 50th goal for the season, and pushing hard back into the contest. Gets rid of Jamie Tate, I think it was, but then quickly up and around the shoulder for his 50th goal. Very good work from the key centre-half forward. Wayne Campbell returning back to the fray with a new jumper on as after the blood rules sent him off earlier.
So still scores locked together here at the MCG. Coming away with the football is Knights. Kicking towards centre forward. Gathered not bad by Naish. Rogers chopped off by King. King across his left shoulder. Well, gets it into North Melbourne's forward half. Carey. Greg Deere across the top. Maxfield. Turner goes short and is effective. Finds Broderick. Good shepherd provided by Gale. Kick short is taken by Bond. Bond is too far out to score. He's going to kick from about 60 metres, Chris Bond. Short, not a bad pass. Good lead too. Well done, Edwards. Bond just holding it up. And just a little bit of space left there by the North Melbourne defence. And away goes Edwards. And the pass from Bond was spot on. Now, he's on the ground to kick goal, Stuart Edwards. 45 metres out. Doesn't quite kick it long enough. And a free kick right in the goal square will be awarded to North Melbourne's Corey McKernan. Goes into the back pocket area. Just a little too far for Blakey. But he's able to get back. Give away the hand pass, and away go North through Anthony Stevens.
Carey with Turner. Carey can't quite take the mark. Turner punches towards the boundary line. Little clever play there by Rock. Gains a few metres. Ball out of play. Wayne Carey shaking his head. He made great position. Once there, you'd reckon he'd take it 9 times out of 10. Ishenko and Deere. Alex Ishenko got his chance when Matthew Capuano was injured about 4 weeks ago. And Rock goes off the ground. The ball out of bounds in the forward pocket. Scores still level, a goal apiece in this second quarter. It's low scoring, a total contrast to when they met in round 4 when Richmond led by 71 points at three-quarter time. Here it's 3-4 each.
So the boundary throw in about 30 metres around from the North Melbourne goal. Carey throws his right foot at it, or nearly rebounds off Longmire. Rush through for a behind to the Kangaroos.
It's very interesting watching Wayne Carey at the moment as we see Adam Simpson there on the bench. But Carey really in the wrestling mode here at the moment against Scotty Turner, whereas if he takes Glenn Jakovic on in the finals like that, he often comes off second best.
Kick in has been marked by Prescott. He comes towards the members' wing. Good lead provided by Brendan Gale. North Melbourne throwing their side around a bit, Terry. Longmire looks as though he might be playing it down in the forward line. Fairley has gone back onto Edwards. The ball now in the centre of the ground, taken by Rock. That hand pass just a little too fierce there for Edwards, for Roberts rather. Kick forward there. Now Carey. Deere. Left there for Armstrong. Armstrong's kick is beautiful. Finds Ishenko, who somehow found himself on his own in the left forward pocket for North Melbourne. Doesn't mind kicking a goal, Big Alex. Been a good contributor since coming down from Brisbane, playing for North Melbourne. Ishenko's kick is not too bad, but just off to the left. And registers just one behind for the Kangaroos. Kick by Alex Ischenko.
Hasn't kicked a goal this season. Big Alex.
2 points is the margin in favour of North Melbourne.
Stuart Maxfield. Broken jaw and all. Broderick to kick in for the Tigers. And short to Tape, who has kicked the Tigers' goal in this quarter. And here he is, about 15 metres out from his own goal. Oh, great mark by Brendan Gale. He's going like a rocket. Up towards centre wing. Kellaway from behind Scott. Comes to Knights. He floats it well. Rogers. Hand pass put Broderick under the hammer. Charles somehow gets it out to Knights. Well done by Justin Charles. The kick by Knights. On the bounce short of the 50. Prescott finds Rogers. Rogers 35 out. Drops short of Edwards, but it's still there for him. And now over the line. What a disappointing kick by Rogers.
Gee, Daffy was good in there.
Yes, the speed at which some of the players are being able to feed the ball out with quick hands tonight has been tremendous.
Oh, could be a mistake. Daffy away to Naish. Mob it up, Chris Naish. He does. He kicks a goal for Richmond. Gets his first goal for the night. And an important one for the Tigers. They lead 4-5 to 3-6.
Well, as a coach, you always have your heart and mouth as they come here. And obviously the problem here was they came right in front of goal. Perhaps you can go short, a little bit wider. The mistake was there, but ever the opportunist, Chris Naish, is there to kick his 34th goal of the year. Perfect spot, perfect kick.
Tigers by 5 points. North won the hit out, but Campbell got the footy. Rock marks at half-back for North. Kicks wide to the wing. Archer. Ball sits on its end. Schwartz, terrific pickup. Armstrong. Very high ball. Kellaway needed courage under that. Daffy. Dundas. Kick by Dundas wide to half forward. Gale, who's been a focal point, but this time outmarked by McKernan. Play on, says the umpire. Fairley hacks it out of there to centre wing. Prescott did well. Quick exchange of hand passing. The whistle's gone. There's going to be a Richmond free just as well from Broderick, because if he delivered that one, he'd have gone in the book for a while.
Nick Daffy with the football. His kick in the Edwards direction. Couldn't take the mark. Goes after it, but the North Melbourne defence, led by Anthony Rock on this occasion, just hold it up at centre half forward for Richmond. Richmond lead 4-5, North Melbourne 3-6. 10.5 minutes left in the second term. Kicked away by Anderson. Robert Scott not favoured by the bounce. Kellaway, good gather. Onto his left foot goes Duncan Kellaway towards the front of the goal square. Edwards couldn't take the mark. Brendan Gale down to Campbell, hit the post. Unbelievable. Wayne Campbell, snapshot, poster.
Great piece of roving there from Campbell. Hit the contest extremely hard. All he needed to do was just drag it a little bit further across with that left foot.
Anderson to kick in for North Melbourne.
Ischenko is there. Charles punches, goes to Armstrong to Schwartz. He's run down. There is no room to move when you're playing on Bond. It goes to Daffy. His kick wide. Oh, what a mark by Rogers! Oh, that is stuff of what heroes are made of.
Chris Bond, great tackle onto Schwartz, giving Richmond, and this great mark, pushing back into the contest, eyes back over there, watching the ball coming, no regard for the North Melbourne defence bearing down upon him. Excellent mark, Matthew Rogers.
Richmond already leading by a goal. Rogers kicking from about 15 metres. Beauty! Just what Richmond wanted. His previous kick was disappointing, but after a mark like that, it warranted a goal.
Full marks to the Richmond midfield. The way in which they pressure the North Melbourne players in that particular example, it was Bond, but Rogers is there, and the way in which he guides it down. 4 goals last week, the leading goal kicker. Good start here tonight.
Richmond lead by 2 goals with 9 minutes left in the second term. North Melbourne need to get one here. Kick forward by Scott to the square, and it hit the post. Well, that ledger is square at this stage anyway. Ischenko comes off the ground for a spell. Stevens onto the ground again for North Melbourne. Dundas to kick it in for the Tigers. Goes short, finds Campbell. He can run on and kick short again. Bullis looks to play on and then doesn't do too bad. He squeezed the kick out beautifully for Broderick. Broderick is on the wing. The ball already now at half forward for Richmond. Punched away from Gale by Fairley, was it? No, it was Longmire who's back there. And Dennis Pagan maybe seeing that Brendan Gale was just forming a bit of a threat. Longmire for a full-back.
He's been good.
Back to centre-half back on Brendan Gale. Daffy collects the crumbs. Kicks it to the 50-metre line. Goes past Ross Smith. Well done, Charles. Another goal coming up. Dinesh, is it? No. Out of bounds on the full. Gee whiz. Kicks the hard snapshot. Runs in straight forward from 25 metres and blouses the lot. Brett Allison having a spell on the bench for the Kangaroos.
Kick in by Fairley. Here's Gale. It clears the pack. Dundas at the back. Pass is good. And Rogers has it again.
He played well last week. I think Terry mentioned just a minute ago that he kicked 4 goals against the Hawks. Very tidy player, Matthew Rogers.
Oh, he is. And, you know, very aggressive at the ball. Here, and there's no hesitation. That's a good mark. The one previously was an exceptional mark. Very, very strong in the hands.
And starting to get out of hand here for North Melbourne a little bit. It's an 11-point lead now. It's been pretty tight all night. This to make it a 17-point margin. And Rogers has done it.
Richmond have kicked the last 3 goals through Nation, the last 2 with Rogers, and that really constitutes a run-on as far as I'm concerned. And now the question mark's really upon the North Melbourne midfield, particularly this centre bounce, their ability to be able to tie it up and win it for themselves.
Three goals in 5.5 minutes to the Tigers.
Away go Richmond again, though. This is Tape to half forward. The ball spills. Chance for Naish. Ross Smith. Ball to the back. Charles. Geez, not bad, is he, for a big fellow? Tries to tap it back for Maxfield, but unsuccessful. A boundary throw-in will take place left half forward for Richmond. Gee, another goal here for Richmond before half-time. It'd make the job a very difficult one for the Kangaroos. Comes to the front. Broderick gets around onto his favoured left foot. Short into the pocket. Oh, Maxfield perhaps just misjudging it. Fairly takes it over. And another throw in just a little closer than the previous one. Only about 40 metres now around from Richmond's goal. 7 minutes left. Richmond by 17 points. Gale and Longmire. Ross Smith can't break away. Laidley, he's well tackled by Bond. Rogers knocks it into the path of Maxfield. Big chance here. Big chance. Broderick. Goal Tigers.
And another right-footed of Broderick.
2 goals to Paul Broderick. 2 goals to Rogers. And all of a sudden, it's 23 points the margin in favour of Richmond. And Dennis Pagan has some concerns.
And rightfully so, Robbo. But what it's been the aggression of the Richmond side. Broderick here just charges in on the ball, and the gap's open there. Stewie Edwards just being able to push Fairley out of the way, and the gap's created, puts it through. The Tigers are pumped just at the moment.
And aren't those Richmond fans having a season and a half? They've come in the underdogs again, the Tigers, and they're giving the odds-on favourites North a bit of a hiding at the moment. Carey takes a wonderful mark at centre-half forward. 6 marks for the game. Well, the Richmond fans are booing him. he got a lucky free kick for a goal in the first quarter. But there's not a lot to do about this bloke, I reckon. A great player. Hot favourite for the Brownlow medal. 52 metres out. Look at that. That breaks a bit of a drought for North. They needed that.
Well, the all-important centre bounce, and this time it's Armstrong in there being matched to Broderick. But Carey, good body work there, held the front position. Scotty Turner couldn't get around there. He's the man just at the moment. He needs to stand up strong here, as with all forwards, continue to be in front.
Wayne Carey has kicked 2/3 of North Melbourne's score so far in this game. Matthew Knights, pressure provided by Blakey. Prescott couldn't take the ball with him. Scott. Then King. Away goes Maxfield. Determined look on his face. And not clear for a throw-in by John Blakey. Well done by both players. The play about 65, 70 metres around from the North Melbourne goal.
And that's the concern with North Melbourne at the moment. It's been Carey and Allison, their goal kickers, and Allison is on the bench.
McKernan, he's a player that North Melbourne need to produce. Blakey, well tackled. Ball spills back towards the middle of the ground. Rock gets it across to young Simpson. Forced forward by Armstrong, taken by Prescott. Kick clear by Campbell. Irrepressible stuff there by the Tigers, but it's Laidley who marks between centre-half back in the centre of the ground. He comes towards the members' side. Freeborn has the football. Freeborn towards full forward. Yes, again, Carey. An interesting statistic now. He could bring North Melbourne's score up to 37 points, of which he would have kicked 26 off. Carey from 40 metres directly in front. He's kicked for goal. Not Simpson, Stevens it is down there on the goal line. Couldn't really control it. And it spills over for a rush behind to the Kangaroos. Or if you want to be generous, you could probably give it to Wayne Carey. And Turner will kick in.
Looks better for him if you don't give it to him, doesn't it? Scott Turner, man from Ararat. Oh, look at Charles climb. He stayed up there for a week. Great mark by Justin Charles. Up towards centre wing, and Gale. And Richmond, who were flogged in the air early, are starting to come back and lead 27-21 in marks. North catch up with this Ross Smith one. He plays on. Round the corner he goes to Blakey. It's bounced Richmond's way. Rogers is there. And Rogers gained about 40 metres for his side. And the ball goes off Freeborn out of bounds. And a throw in inside the 50. Kangaroos under siege at the moment from an underrated Richmond who keep on shocking the football public. Firmly in second place on the ladder and doing it again here tonight.
Well, they certainly are. Bond tackled by Schwass. Campbell. Schwass tackled by Bond. Whoa, Wayne Schwass not too happy. Umpire number 6 is Andrew Coates, and I'd suggest he's probably going to go over and settle down, Wayne.
Well, Tim Forsyth was lucky. He had a microphone right there.
Well, I said something about Wayne Schwass a couple of weeks ago, and I got a letter during the week from one of the North Melbourne fans, so we'll just keep quiet at this stage. Laidley underneath there. Can't break clear. And just looks a little disturbed there. Taking a little while to gather his thoughts. Didn't quite see what happened, but obviously as he gathered the ball and came crashing to the ground, may have been winded maybe. And we'll see now, yes, a bit of a clash there from maybe Paul Broderick. So Dean Laidley will take a few seconds. I think he's a tough nut. Trainers giving back the mouth guard, and Stevens is off the ground, being attended to. That's Anthony Stevens. A bit of blood there. And Allison takes his place. So now umpire Andrew Coates can continue with the game.
48-32, Tigers in front. Edwards is there. Campbell did brilliantly. Back to Naish. Pulled up the ball. Armstrong a little kick out of the pack. King balks and then delivers. Freeborn. Glenn Freeborn playing in his third game. Carey takes his umpteenth mark. Centre wing. Goes for the bounce up towards the 50. Goes long. Mark Stevens is there. But the spoil comes from behind and rips the ball through for a point. And Wayne Carey has 8 marks and 12 kicks. And we have nearly 3 minutes to half-time.
This is Bullis for the Tigers. 7-6 plays, 4-9. Richmond lead. Kicks in the direction of Brendan Gale. He doesn't let him down. Archer and Longmire, but Brendan Gale is able to take the mark. He's a long way down from his position that he's playing at centre forward. He kicks in short. Broderick can give the hand pass to Maxfield. There's plenty of time. Back he goes to Broderick. Well, it was 3-on-1. David King was the one player for North Melbourne. Away goes Broderick towards full forward. Edwards in front. Couldn't take the mark. Just looks a little out of sorts. Of course, he's been out of the senior side for a little while. Laidley takes the hand pass, kicks it towards the centre of the ground. Gatherers by Blakey. Handball over the top. He finds Armstrong on that beautiful left foot of his. Matthew Armstrong goes towards the forward line, but a great mark taken by Tate. And if you think he can play football, well, you're spot on. He's a real dour, very accomplished player. Jamie Tate kicks across the half-back line.
And the resurgence of the Tigers coincided with when Tate got here.
Gale's kick, nearly gathered by Broderick. In goes Rock. Not clear by McKernan into the path of Schwass. Hand pass a little too far for Scott. Tackle was quite fierce. Ball spills now for Deere off the ground. McKernan. Just a little miss there by Simpson was important. Away goes Campbell. Out into the path of Daffy. Awkward bounce. He's able to get back. Gather onto the right foot. Kicks it high. Inside 50 metres. Edwards in front. Ball spills to the back. Punched away by Ross Smith. Back towards the 50-metre line. Good contest. Campbell's handball. Dundas into the pocket. Mark is taken by Prescott. He goes for goal. Ashley Prescott. And he kicks it. He's happy. And no wonder. Prescott's first goal gives the ascendancy back to the Tigers. They lead 8-6 to 4-9, close to half-time.
Well, in actual fact, Robert, it's his first goal in league football. So they cannot get any fewer and far between than that. But he also becomes the 6th goal kicker for Richmond, and I think that's imperative there compared to North Melbourne 2.
21-point lead to the Tigers, and Anthony Stevens is back on the ground for North Melbourne. Laidley off. Free kick to the Tigers out of the centre bounce. Deere inside the 50. Gale has taken 5 marks. Backhanded by Allison. Rogers. Campbell coughs it up to Armstrong, but his kick's beautifully smothered.
Great
That was
play,
Rogers in there. Daffy round the corner. Edwards. Edwards started the game on the bench. The entire first quarter on the bench. He replaced Jurica, who just couldn't get into the game. And now Edwards, late in the second quarter, gets into the game.
Two great signs there. You're right about Stuart Edwards. Drew, he has struggled to get into the game, but now he's got a mark just before half-time. And then Naish was the one who took it off and would have ran into goal anyway.
Right in front, 40 metres out. Edwards gets the goal. Irresistible, the Tigers.
So Stuart Edwards becomes the 7th goal kicker for Richmond, and I think that's an indication of where the game's at the moment. In comparison, North Melbourne have only 2. Wayne Carey with 3 and Brett Allison with 1. Richmond have been able to spread the workload right around amongst quite a few players, both in the midfield and now in the forward line.
Well, Richmond have kicked 6 out of the last 7 goals, and where would North have been without Wayne Carey? He's kicked 3 of their 4. Just seconds remaining to half-time. The scores were level at quarter-time, and the Tigers have opened up a 27-point break. What a quarter by Richmond. They came in underdogs, once again written off, and once again they're proving their critics wrong. In that quarter they kicked 7-2 to 2 goals 5, and Brendan Gale was very good. He's taken 5 marks and had 8 kicks. Carey's been even more prolific than that, but he's played a lone hand for the Kangaroos. John Northey did it with Melbourne, and he's doing it with Richmond. The junior among tonight's umpires, Mark McKenzie, gets us underway in the second half. The Tigers leading by 27 points after the scores had been level at quarter time. Eshenko has a couple of bites at it. It's hacked out of there by Richmond. Gale got a touch. It comes back to Brendan Gale. He knocks the ball on. That's the even performance. Campbell crashes through, gets it out wide. Daffy off the left. What a goal! You couldn't get a better start for the Tigers to further bury North.
A sensational start to the second quarter. It's always important, this first bounce. Gale in there just enough with the hand just to keep the ball alive. And that's what's important when you're moving forward. Just keep it alive. Don't try and do it all yourself. Spin it off to someone else. Daffy was on the end of it and made the distance. Great start.
Campbell was good too. Crashing through and not quite able to break the tackle, but got the handball out. So again, the ruckmen go at it at the centre. Broderick nearly clears the congestion. Kick forward. Allison is marked just forward of the centre of the ground. You can see the centre circle there. Allison's kicked to full forward. Longmire. Well, I think Johnny Longmire, if North Melbourne to get back into this game, Johnny Longmire has to give Carey some support in kicking goals, and he's just got to get this one.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle this year for John Longmire, both in confidence and finding the actual niche in the side, being used in defence and in the forward line. This is the most important shot.
Well, you don't save games from here. You've got to kick goals and win it. Longmire gets under it a little bit. It gets to the square. Carey off the ground. Did his foot touch it? No, it didn't. It is rushed over for a behind, and Dipper's got a boundary line report.
Yeah, Robbo. Dean Lady didn't come out of the rooms after half-time. I understand he's still in the rooms suffering from a mild concussion.
Well, we did see a replay of that incident just before half-time, so let's hope he recovers and has something to do with this game later on.
Scott Turner's kick in is into the centre square, but Scott hacks it out for North Melbourne wide to King. King 55 or 6 metres out from goal. A still cool night here in Melbourne. He gets plenty of distance, but not enough. It comes off Turner and has gone through for a behind.
North Melbourne are scoring many behinds in that fashion. They're going right to the goal line. Perhaps they might be worth considering pulling their kicks just a little bit shorter, putting them at the top of the square where their Rovers have got a chance to work at the bottom of the contest.
Jurica and Miranda, 2 young West Australians, still on the bench for the Tigers. Jurica played the first quarter but couldn't get into the action.
Good kick by Turner. He was just a little undecided. Here's McKernan. Kicks it back in the Turner direction. In front was Longmire. Crumbing beautifully Allison. And he gets his second goal. So if Daffy's goal in the early seconds of the third term was good for the Tigers, that goal by Brett Allison may give North something to build on.
This is a great example of the point I was trying to make a little bit earlier. When the kicks now, because it's deep and long here, it allows it to land some 15 metres out. The contest forms, always giving your Rovers a chance, and Allison kicks his second goal in exactly the same fashion he kicked his first and North Melbourne's first to begin the game.
So very important that North Melbourne don't allow the Tigers to get away to a huge lead in this third term. Richmond force it forward once again. The area out there at left half forward is vacant. Running onto it is McKernan. Goes for the hand pass in the Scott direction. Robert Scott not able to grasp it. So the boundary umpire will throw it in between wing and left half forward, favouring the Tigers.
Richmond 66, North 41. North barrel the ball forward. Oh, Archer juggles and not paid the mark. Now the Richmond defender comes over the top and claims a fair tackle, Jamie Tate, and Archer is going crook as well, saying, no doubt, what about the mark?
And Brett Ellison looks up to the sky in disbelief.
Well, there's about 4 or 5 touches on that. What do you reckon, Wills?
Yeah, there was enough of the footy there, and I think Glenn Archer's now just got to be careful, though. He doesn't emotionally get involved in the game. Concentrate on the ball.
Kick by Daffy, bounces to half forward. It's punched back. It comes to Matty Knights. He has time to measure off the options. And here's Gale, 10 metres in the clear, 40 metres from goal.
Well, you'd have to say North were a bit stiff when the mark wasn't paid to Archer, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, no doubt at all. But, you know, and Richmond, but they react and go methodically about their work. Matthew Knights, a great use of the ball, finding Gale at centre half forward.
He's been a focal point across there, really concentrating on this.
That's a great shot of him.
Looking to get the margin back to 31 points. Right through the middle.
That was a tremendous piece of camera work there to be able to watch Brendan Gale. He was always going to kick it. The intensity he had in his eyes, the way he was concentrating exactly what he was going to do. Great piece of build-up here. Knights on the run, roving the contest, finds Gale, but Gale, the consummate professional here in the way in which he lines it up, follows through, and great goal.
Well, as far as North Melbourne are concerned, a bad blow there. Greg Deere bashes it forward for the Tigers. Rebounds, Knights couldn't control it. Robert Scott, Archer, Scott again, tackled by Deere, the big man working very hard. Archer tackled, held up. Armstrong tackled, held up. Gee, they work ferociously, Richmond. Close in, they just do not give their opponents an easy chance to get the ball clear of the pack. Campbell patched up. He was fantastic in the first goal that Richmond got at the start of this third term. Greg Deere, right fist to it. Kick forward by Broderick. Centre half forward, bouncing ball awkward. Gathered by McKernan. Goes wide, finds Blakey, looks to play on. Not able to, held up nicely by Dundas. It was Maxfield, rather. This is Smith through the centre of the ground for North Melbourne. Towards full forward. The ball spills. A chance for Anderson. He overruns it. Turner gets his right foot to it. Gets it outside 50 metres. Richmond fans on their toes. North Melbourne not able to control it through Carey, and it spills for a throw-in. Lots of boos, maybe directed at the North Melbourne captain. Unwarranted. Ruckman go at it. Ischenko gets it to the back. Well done. Archer kicks towards full forward. No mark. Ellison grabbed, didn't have the football. Umpire was quite adjacent to that. Obviously thought there was nothing much in it. And Brett Ellison, with a wry smile, will have another look. He's dragged a little bit by Dundas, but maybe not much in it.
Ball up. Carey, clean possession. Boot the ball, but kick smothered. It flips out the back to Broderick. Off the side of the boot, across half-back. Here's Maxfield. Great to see him back after the broken jaw. On to Gale. Up to centre wing. Daffy. Virtually kicked out of his hands by Mark Stevens. And the ball out of bounds. And we'll have a throw-in. Maybe the boot didn't connect the ball. It was just as well. I think more Mark Stevens' hands got the ball out of bounds. Rock. Archer tapping, but to the opposition. Knights, good balance. He set up the last goal. Kellaway, well up the ground. Kick by Kellaway to Edwards. Almost a man in front, Rogers. Freeborn's there for North. It gets through the pack. Broderick picks the option. Nace beats a tackle. Gets it to the goal square. Not quite. Out of bounds on the full.
So Richmond 11-6, lead at North Melbourne 5-11. Early in the third term, this is Fairley. Kicks it outside 50 metres, looking for McKernan, but it's taken by Kellaway, run down by King. Ball spills for Ischenko. Hand pass nicely for Anthony Stevens. He runs towards the wing, gets back onto his left foot. Kicks it up towards full forward. Longmire couldn't take the mark again. Just not having a real big night, Johnny Longmire. Away go the Tigers again. Broderick's on the end of the pass. He kicks into the half-forward area, running on Kellaway. Kellaway can go for goal. Duncan Kellaway, Marcus Rogers. Matthew Rogers right up against the behind post. Freeborn, the man on the mark. Rogers, a chance to get his third goal. And by gee, it'd make it tough for North Melbourne if he can kick this for Richmond. He probably will try to run around maybe, although he's holding the ball. No, he goes for the little banana kick. Hit the post. Well, I suppose he wasn't that far away, was he? A post is only a matter of centimetres offline. 11-7 to 5-11. And
it's Adam Simpson there ready to come back on. And here's the other rookie for North Melbourne, Glenn Freeborn.
Schenko offering plenty of movement. What a perfect kick outside the 50. That has travelled about, well, 50 metres right onto the chest of King. Blakey, centre wing. He knew the crunch was coming. Tape gave it. Blakey rode it well. Fires the hand pass. Armstrong. Kick by Armstrong. Oh, Turner. Campbell seems to do the right thing every time. Bond. He goes round the corner to Gale, centre wing. McKernan, a good punch this time. It comes back to Bond. The hand pass on the bounce to Campbell. Made it a bit tough for Campbell. And eventually that is going to be a ball up. A couple of times in picture you saw 37 for North, Adam Simpson. And he made his debut last week. A 19-year-old. 32 points. Gee, North will be a good side if they get up from here.
My word. Bounce just forward of the wing for the Kangaroos. Schenko's fumble may be crucial. Bond tries to get it out. Anthony Stevens off his left foot, hacks it towards half forward. Back goes Dundas. Gathers. Hand pass, good. Matthew Knights always seems to have a little bit of room. Sneaky little hand pass for Prescott. Kick towards the half forward area, taken by Naish. Hand pass, Gale. Run down by Mark Stevens. Back goes Naish. Stevens and Naish. Contest, Callaway, Bond. Bond's left foot kick in towards the pocket. Well, maybe Glenn Freeborn just let it slip out of his hands. But there's plenty of football left for that young man, I'm sure. 30 metres out, boundary throw in. It's close now to Richmond's goal. Justin Charles, big leap. Down goes Naish. Kick off the ground by Schwass. Robert Scott in trouble here. Maxfield's right on his hammer. Bounce is good for him now. Gets away and tries to handball to his own advantage. Prescott still there. Robert Scott. Chance there now for Prescott.
Oh.
Matthew Knight's vision magnificent. Maxfield pumps it forward and Broderick. It's irrepressible stuff by the Tigers. Left-hand point of the square is Paul Broderick. Ran onto his left foot. Gets good distance. Hooks the kick towards the goal line. Ross Smith is there for North Melbourne. Close to the line. He kicks it back towards the half-back area. Maxfield up over the top. Good mark. Well done.
Great work, Stewie Maxfield, returning here tonight after 3 weeks and has been very aggressive right throughout.
Well, a broken jaw hasn't slowed down his pace or stopped his marking ability. The punch comes to the front. A snap by Daffy. It bounces. Misses everything. And we'll have a boundary throw in the right forward pocket. 73 to 41. A 32-point lead to the Tigers. The biggest margin of the night. The scores will level at quarter time. From the boundary throw in. Another chance for the Tigers. North need to lift. It comes to Campbell. Open goal. They're on fire. Well, Tiger power. There's enough power out here tonight to light the whole of Victoria.
Well, one of the things that distinguishes a good side is that when you're viewing it on a television screen like this, you have trouble determining whether it's on a half-forward line or a half-back line. The Richmond half-forwards work just as hard as the half-back line, creating that opportunity for Wayne Campbell.
Well, it's a big margin now, isn't it? 38 points. We really couldn't see North getting back from here. If only from the point of view of the way the Tigers are playing. But North Melbourne go forward. Robert Scott, left foot kick towards full forward. Bullis and Allison. Bullis still in the contest. Allison keeps his footing. Snapshot by Allison. Looks pretty good. It's a North Melbourne goal. So North Melbourne 6 goals coming from just 2 players, Wayne Carey and Brett Allison.
And in contrast, Richmond's goals all coming from 10 kickers. Richmond have been able to spread their workload and their power through the forward line much more evenly. Allison and Carey have worked extremely hard. Allison at ground level, Carey in the air. But they really now are looking for some more of the North Melbourne forwards, and I would even suggest centreline players to lift their games.
Mark Roberts in the ruck now for the Kangaroos with Ashenko benched, and he wins that hit out too, Roberts, but Bond goes off the ground for Richmond. It's gathered there by Knights. His hand pass out in front of Rogers inside the 50 is pushed. Play on, says the umpire. Freeborn from all fours gets the hand pass away, and the umpire will ball it up. Couple of chances there maybe for the Tigers to get a free.
Wasn't it great there? Matty Knights just kept hitting it back in. He wasn't going to allow the ball to come out, having a go at trying to con the umpire for holding the ball.
Oh, it's not Richmond's way. Blakey first back there. The hand pass okay. King, Fairley. Fairley's kick. Simpson loses control of it to Prescott. Prescott to the 50. It comes off hands to Blakey. A hurried kick. They're doing things panic fashion. Simpson does all right. Stevens with a bandage on his head after a cut in the second quarter. Kick by Stevens. Archer at half forward. A chance for Glenn Archer. He's rolled down by Knights. Brilliant tackle from behind by the acting skipper. Carey finds Allison, and Allison kicks another one.
Gee, that was some sort of handball.
So not even the tackling of Matty Knights could stop that one.
It's an incredible scoreline, isn't it? Wayne Carey and Brett Allison, 2 players on screen, the only 2 goal kickers, and Allison having kicked the first goal, Carey the next 3, and now Allison the last 3. And it's through sheer pace and persistence that he gives himself those opportunities. Can he now instigate a comeback for his teammates?
Well, a good 2 goals kicked by North Melbourne. Maybe gives them something to work on. Robert Scott, they go forward again now. Roberts, he's kicked towards full forward. Longmire is behind. Bullis, Turner. Which way is he going to go? Across the face of goal. There's confident football. Maxfield went in to try and provide a shepherd. Dundas fumble. May give North a chance. David King snapshot. King's snapshot for goal is across the face. And sometimes you do feel for those goal umpires, because that ball came in very quickly and quite fiercely. And he was able to get across and make that decision. Bauer preparing to come back onto the ground. The kick-in has been marked by Jamie Tape. Tape's kick is high, out towards the wing. He looks for Gale, but it hits the ground. Archer, hard at the football. Matthew Armstrong goes for the goal front. It swings in towards the goal, but it should be marked, and is by Bullis. So Richmond standing up. They lead. They're 12-7 to 7-12. 7 3/4 minutes left in the 3rd term. Short kick has been marked by Broderick.
But Allison has kicked the last couple of goals of the match for North Melbourne. At one stage, the Tigers led by 38 points, and the margin now is back to 25. Daffy just behind the wing. Southern stand side. Knights at half forward. Contests. The ball's out of bounds. And we'll have a throw in. We have just over 7 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Some signs of a bit of a resurgence from North, but they need to keep it going. Gale and McKernan. Oh, Daffy, a brilliant twist. The kick's 30 metres out, right in front. It doesn't reach Edwards. It's knocked out of there by Fairley. Crunching tackle. Fairley goes in again. There's Edwards. He's bowled over. Fairley, tackle low. Rogers. Great tackling by Rogers twice. Shepherding off the ball allows a bit of space for Blakey. He was out. The ball was in. Protestations from the crowd. North certainly on the lift. Roberts the hand pass into Schwass. Been pretty quiet. Played on Bond all night. Schwass goes for a sprint to kick one of his miracle goals. It is a brilliant goal.
That'll lift him.
Well, Wayne Schwartz, he's one of the players who can really ignite the side here. Roberts finds Schwartz with space in the centre, and off screen you see some great shepherding, allows him to come inside 50 and be able to finish it off. This centre bounce now with Wayne Schwartz in there becomes all important.
Edwards looking a little sick and sorry. Dipper.
Yes, Robbo, he's come off the ground with a hamstring injury, and Jarika's back on the ground.
So a real resurgence for North Melbourne. They've kicked the last three goals. David King gets it to Blakey. Handball. Rock. Wide is still Freeborn. Onto Stevens. He's going to get run down. Hand pass. Oh, that really wasn't all that good a selection. It's kicked forward again for North Melbourne. Coming from Simpson. Oh, Carey! What a magnificent mark. That's what he was doing week in, week out early in the year. And all last year. And this is a magnificent mark. Look where he comes from.
Eyes for the ball all the way, Robbo, and that's courage personified. It doesn't be determined by what you do at ground level. But when you're able to jump, keeping your eyes on the ball and having the pack being formed and even bearing down upon you, that's courage in league footy.
Well, Carey could equal Allison with 4 individual goals. And he does it. The captain. 4 goals to Carey, 4 to Allison, 1 to Schwartz. And what a goal it was by Schwartz. And all of a sudden, after Richmond led by 38 points, it is now just 14.
Well, now we have other players starting to step up. As Schwartz, who kicked the goal earlier, has been a good contributor in the last few minutes. The centre bounces. Mark Roberts has given a little bit out of there. This one becomes all important, as with Matthew Armstrong, who's been very aggressive in at ground level when the opportunity arises at these bounces.
13 points the margin. Armstrong.
Again.
It's all North again. Up to Roberts, who's gone into the ruck and made a difference. Anthony Stevens had a bit of a look at Tape. Paddles the ball backwards. Campbell slides the hand pass to Tape. Tape's kick to centre wing. It's a frenetic pace in the third quarter at the MCG. Ball kept in by Gale. Kellaway's kick to the 50. Gale is there. Charles it was. And the ball out of play inside 50. A throw in. What a comeback. At one stage, there's Chris Nash down. At one stage, Richmond was 79 to 41. It's now 79 to 66.
Yeah, 4 quick goals to North Melbourne. Will certainly put some life back into this game. McKernan, this is Daffy. Played a pretty good game, Nick Daffy. That kick not all that good. Pretty well up and under. Bounces back to nearly to the goal line. Rogers gets it to Broderick. Can he get his 3rd right foot goal? No, he can't. Just off to the right. And it bounces over for a throw-in. Very much a goal-kicking midfielder, isn't he, Paul Broderick?
Oh, yeah, and just looking at the two there, Broderick and Armstrong matched against each other. How many times they would have lined up in intra-club games at Fitzroy?
16-3 to Broderick and 12-5 to Matthew Armstrong. Kick back towards the centre of the ground. North are a chance here to get clear. Archer dragged down by Knights. Richmond go forward. Tape, the short kick has been marked by Brendan Gale. In turn, he goes short. He's going to get it closer to goal. Oh, that was a good crunch by Stevens, but it's deemed as unfair, and it might be a reportable incident. I don't believe it. He is being reported. Anthony Stevens on Chris Bond. Richmond doctor Chris Bradshaw out there attending to Chris Bond.
So the report would have clearly been for charging, that the mark was there to be taken and was taken by Bond, and Stevens being very aggressive a little bit too late.
Well, on the big scoreboard we can have a good look at this.
It's a photo finish. You're entitled to make the bloke earn the mark.
Well, if he doesn't do it, what does the coach do to Anthony Stevens? He's got a 50-metre penalty, so straight away it puts him right in front, and he couldn't possibly miss.
And if Stevens gets off at the tribunal during the week, is the 50-metre penalty wrong?
That's an interesting scenario, isn't it? Because Chris Bond would have struggled from where the free kick was awarded.
Just about a dead heat when the ball
was Chris Bond. So his first goal is Richmond's 13th. They lead by 19 points. Jurica in the middle of the action. And Schwass on Chris Bond.
Well, that matchup will certainly get fiery from here on in. Stevens could rue that decision to do it right or wrongly. It's broken the run North Melbourne had.
North Melbourne free kick out of the middle. Roberts thumps it long. Carey stays at the back and Longmire hugs it to his chest for a mark right in front. Well, it looked all Richmond when they led by 38 points. But you wouldn't write off North's chances now.
Back off screen, all the Richmond players are congregating around the umpire.
Yeah, I reckon it went the wrong way. I reckon Schwass was the man that was still in the square.
And there is the goal to Longmire. No, he kicked a punt from right in front.
You know, Drew, I was watching Wayne Schwass. I think the camera was right on him before the umpire went to bounce that ball. And just at the last split second, he could see that he was still in the square when he shouldn't have been. And he didn't get outside the square, and neither did the Richmond man, so it was a line ball.
He was still going crook about the previous free kick.
Exactly. The kick in goes to the centre of the ground. Mark has been awarded to Greg Deere. So he's been a good toiler, hasn't he, in the Richmond jumper, Greg Deere. He's just behind the centre. He kicks in towards centre forward, chipping in and taking a good mark is Armstrong for North Melbourne. So his stats just increasing with every contest. Oh, brilliant roving there by Rock. Rock towards full forward. Ellison pushed out by Bauer. Gee, it looked pretty straightforward, didn't it? And the umpire, number 4, Chris Mitchell, was in a beautiful position to judge it. So Ellison going for his 5th goal. Oh, no, it was a bit of a dive. In the finish. Yes, you can hear the... No one really needs to say anything there. The crowd tells the story.
Desperate times require desperate measures, and Brett Ellison was quite prepared to run the odds on that occasion.
Well, he did make it look a good one. Ellison kicks from 25 metres, and he pops it through. 5 goals straight to Brett Ellison, and that's what he's there for, I guess. 10-13 to 13-7. It's just 12 points in favour of the Tigers.
Well, here we see the build-up where Rock tosses the ball up a little bit high. Bauer and there's absolutely no contact there with Brett Ellison whatsoever. He's the recipient of a very lucky free kick, and quite extraordinarily now has kicked 4 goals in this quarter to instigate a comeback for North Melbourne.
So the margin back to 2 kicks, and Roberts has made a difference since he replaced Ashenko. They lose it in the middle to Bond. Kicked by Bond to centre half forward. Naish, a good mark. Right on the 50, right in front. Jurica back on the ground. He offers the lead from the goal square. There is the youngster. This could test Naish. Gives it everything he's got. Goes for a bit of a hook. The punch away. Rogers can keep it in. Fairley did very well then and gains 15 or 20 metres. Schwass gains a few more. Campbell with Schwass. Really good contest. Well played, Wayne Campbell. The sprint on from behind. 85 to 73. We've got just under 2 minutes to 3/4 time, and North have certainly given themselves a chance in the last 10 minutes.
Here's just 2 goals in the game. Brendan Gale. Campbell, lovely hand pass. Sets it up for Maxfield inside 50. Maxfield nearly taken by Charles, and Ross Smith will allow the boundary umpire to throw it in. Right forward pocket for Richmond. 1.5 minutes left. Charles to do the ruck work. Not clear. Naish gets back. Broderick gets his left foot to it. Well done by Freeborn. Now Stevens. Stevens close to the boundary line. Still the ball close, eventually forced over by Glenn Archer. And the boundary umpire will throw it in right half forward. It's perhaps not quite up to right half forward for Richmond. About 80, 90 metres away from their goal. Of course, Laidley still off the ground for North Melbourne. Anthony Stevens underneath there. Jamie Tate, the tackler. The umpire will be forced to bounce.
Last minute of the third quarter. McKernan crashes into Gale. Finds Blakey. Hand pass clears a big pack. Down goes Rock. And it goes out of bounds right in the interchange gate in front of the smokers stand. 38 points at one stage, Richmond's lead, and now it's back to 12. McKernan missed it. Gale, that'll bring snow. Don't need much encouragement to bring snow tonight. Off hands to Blakey, back to Schwass, shrugs off the tackle. It's hard to say. And it bounces out of bounds in between halfback and wing. 85 to 73.
Boundary throw in. Very close to three-quarter time, so it'll be an interesting last term. Chance here for Matty Knights, and just slipped as he was about to set something up, although there probably wouldn't be enough time for either side really to score now. Just seconds left in it. The ball on centre wing, Members side, right where the players' interchange area. And there's the siren. So it is three-quarter time. And at one stage in the third term, Richmond led by 38 points. North Melbourne, courageously, meritoriously, well, they've fought their way back into it. They trail by just 12 points. It's 13-7 to 10-13.
Greg Deere in the gloves, 3 times premiership player with Hawthorn. They face each other. Roberts beats him. Down to Scott, who couldn't get clear for anything. And Richmond get the ball back out of the centre square. It comes to the front of the pack. Bit of a fumble by Daffy, but he's still going. Freeborn out of defence, up towards half forward. Tate, he is swamped. The ball's there for North. It's there for Richmond. Bauer got it out, and a hurried kick out of the pack onto the chest of David King at centre wing. 2 goals the difference, just 12 points.
Just a little bit of a mistake there by Jamie Tate. Couldn't be overcritical, but he's able to recover his position and get the ball to Maxfield. Maxfield's kick high towards the wing. The ball spills to the ground. Ball punched forward, and attempted punch forward there by Brendan Gale. Roberts couldn't take the football. Greg Deere back towards Callaway. He's in a bit of trouble. Maxfield, he was in a bit of strife as well, able to squeeze a kick down the boundary line. Gathered by Stevens, gives away a little bit of ground, but in doing so, he just took one little step over the line, and the boundary umpire will throw it in. The bench there for North Melbourne, big Alex Ischenko, and looked like maybe young Simpson sitting there having a bit of a spell. Broderick, Bond, run down. Good tackling by North. Knights run down by Scott. Gathered by Charles, not able to get clear. North Melbourne, well done. Forced forward by Stevens. Gee, the first goal of this quarter is going to be important, the way the opening minutes have gone. And the ball forced over. Glenn Archer looks as though he may be a little injured there. Could be a hamstring. Armstrong limping, so it'll be the battle of the walking wounded in the last few minutes of this game by the look of it. Already North Melbourne with Laidley injured just before half-time, and looks as though he may be out of the game for the rest of the this quarter anyway, which will be the rest of the game. Bauer, and a bit of a dust-up just off the ball there between Scott and Matthew Knights. That's Simpson on the ground, actually, there, number 37. 10-13 to 13-7, still the Tigers lead by 12 points.
It's incredible, Robbo, isn't it? On a ground as big as the MCG, sometimes there's not much room. It is contest going on all over the ground, and they're biting and scratching. It's great stuff. Boundary throw-in. Comes to Rock, a centering kick. Carey's there. Big mark. Wayne Carey superb. 10 marks.
And in all that, Scotty Turner, I think, has done a pretty fair job, but Carey just keeps coming to the top of it all.
Carey's kicked 4. This to get the Kangaroos to within 1 straight kick. It's close. It's there. He was the man who kept them in it at the start of the game. He might be the man to win it at the end.
And it's the captain of the club who comes to the fore when his side really needs him, and now the difference is just 6 points. Carey at centre-half forward. Roberts in the ruck has been a very significant move by Dennis Pagan, and I think Robert Scott working very hard in the midfield also.
6 points the margin in favour of the Tigers. Deer gets it down to Broderick. Fairly well ineffective kick. Knights on King. Ball spills. Broderick runs onto it. Broderick towards the goal front. Marking contest. Ball spills. Campbell. Surely he'll kick this. Goes in and dobs it. Second goal to Wayne Campbell, and a precious one. You would think they've been fairly scarce for the Tigers in this second half.
But it's a sign of a good side. When they get challenged, that they're able to come back. North Melbourne had the momentum through Carey getting the first goal of the quarter. Won the centre bounce Richmond and got the goal.
Oh, neither ruckman from the centre. Eventually Roberts a little tap. Oh, Callaway steals the ball from Armstrong. Up to Knights. Tigers looking irresistible again. Broderick's hand pass. Well gathered by Charles. His kick is offline and out of bounds. But that was not daylight robbery, but daytime robbery by Callaway in the middle of the ground. Didn't bring a balaclava with him either. Well, North nearly muck it up, but eventually get out of defence. High towards centre wing. Carey for his 11th mark. Off hands to Prescott. Blind handball is good. Rogers. Left footer by Rogers to the 50. And on the chest of Daffy. Fair way out. Too far out to score. Campbell, the only chance. North Melbourne players spoil each other. Nace tries one off the ground. Maxfield.
Free kick.
North free kick.
And another North Melbourne in trouble. It looks North Melbourne player McKernan in a spot of bother. Doesn't look too good either. King for the Kangaroos. Kicks out towards the wing. Mark is taken by Roberts. He looks to play on. Well marked. Very well marked by Deer. Eventually Mark Roberts gets his kick away. Towards half forward. Still McKernan in trouble. Running through is Scott. Nice little toe poke. Carey. Again, forces it into the forward pocket region. Out comes Longmire. The ball spills off hands. And over for a throw-in. McKernan limping badly.
Capuano's already gone. They can't afford McKernan to be injured for the season.
Well, he's coming towards the bench.
It was a very courageous piece of work there by Corey McKernan, pushing back with the clash there, and seems to be hobbling there on that leg.
On the boundary line, Dipper.
Yeah, Drew, I can't see Glenn Archer coming back on. He's got a very bad cork thigh, as we see McKernan come off the ground and Oshinko going back on.
Well, once again, Wayne Carey is the villain of the piece amongst Richmond supporters. Whether he's having free kicks paid to him or against him, he has certainly been the centre of attention tonight. And the mere fact that he's taken 10 marks and had 15 kicks and kicked 5 goals is neither here nor there. Deer, clean possession. Well done. Charging straight at it fairly. Oshinko just back on the ground. It's socked away by Gale. Centre wing. Mark Stevens goes to ground. Blakey round the corner and finds the safety of out of bounds on centre wing. It's 91-79. The Tigers by 12 points.
And Archer with his right thigh very heavily strapped. You wouldn't think, Terry, that he'd take much.
No, they're starting to look very light on, Robbo, aren't they? And all the energy now seems to be with Richmond.
Well, they're still having a real good go at it. Rogers' kick along the line is over on the full. Free kick to Blakey.
This could be a game if North not only if they don't get the points, but with the injuries, this might cost them any chance they had for the season, this very game.
Well, it's a fair point because the finals are only 3 weeks away. Matthew Knights, slippery little hand pass. Look away, I suppose you'd call that. Broderick kicks to the 50-metre line. Good contest. Daffy nearly onto it. Roberts. Handball Stevens. Further wide towards centre-half back. Fairley. Just created something for Armstrong. Hand pass Ross Smith. Fairley provided some good running and support. Left foot kick by Ian Fairley to full forward. Longmire and Bullis. Whose free kick is it? Well, how could you make that decision? Both boys were having a good go at that, weren't they?
You can't call... Well, in actual fact, that's what the umpire, Chris Mitchell, has called him on. He's called it on too high. He's called for the backhander that went across Longmire's face.
What about the Longmire holding onto the Bullis jumper?
That's not what he paid.
Obviously, because the ball's with Longmire. Longmire from 20 metres. Oh, I think he's kicked it. He has. Longmire, late in the game, has kicked his first goal and brought it back to just a 6-point margin in favour of the Tides.
Well, as we can see, both players are locked in there, and a holding decision against either one would have been unrealistic. But the umpire, Chris Mitchell, clearly demonstrates that he gave it for the around the neck, the interference of Longmire across the left of his face.
Longmire's first goal of the night. The Kangaroos' third goal from free kicks. And they're back to within 6 points. In the middle, Knights for Richmond. We have 13.5 minutes remaining in the game. We're inside 50. Roberts charges straight at it, but gives it up. Chance for the Tigers. Broderick, brilliant. Campbell. Top goal.
Goal.
3 goals to Wayne Campbell, and Richmond back to a 12-point lead.
Well, we're certainly looking at one of the finer players in the competition, Wayne Campbell, rightfully one of the favourites for the Brownlow medal, but he has so many good players around. The quick hands of Broderick there finds Campbell. They're able to come back each and every time they're challenged. North Melbourne running low on numbers here. Richmond coming back hard.
Dipper, what's wrong with Corey McKernan?
Well, Corey McKernan just had his right knee strapped and looks like he might be coming back on the ground.
12 points in favour of the Tigers. Another free kick for maybe too many in the centre square. It goes to the Tigers. Greg Deere kicks to the 50-metre line. No mark, taken by Rock. Rock's kick across his left shoulder. Bounces and bounces into the arms of Bond. Bond, his kick will land about 50 metres from goal. Brendan Gale couldn't take it. Roberts tackled. Brendan Gale gets the spill. In towards the full foot. It bounces through for a goal, will it? Oh, David King got back and knocked it through from behind. Brendan Gale. Ross Smith. 13 points. Richmond's favour. Ross Smith kicks in and finds Freeborn.
Glenn Freeborn, a 22-year-old from the South Australian Eagles, up to the centre of the ground, but he's given it away to another former South Australian, Jamie Tate.
Played well.
Always plays well. He's kicked to centre half forward. Here's Gale. No mark. Off hands to Rock. He didn't have time. Miranda on for Richmond. Blakey for North. A floater. Gale punches. Kellaway good. Knights. Campbell again. He's kicked 3 already. And will this carry for number 4? Roberts gets back there and takes a mark on the last line. It's exciting, and you don't know who's going to win it. We still have just 12 minutes to go in the game. Roberts followed up. Long kick over centre wing. Ashenko got underneath the ball. A chance here for Simpson, was it? Carey gets the hand pass wide. Ashenko. Anthony Stevens. The kick wide towards the pocket. Longmire. John Longmire, who had a fair stint in the game in the last line of defence, replacing Mick Martin at full-back, who didn't take his place in the side. He's finished up at full forward in the last quarter and kicked his only goal of the game a few minutes ago. This for number 2. Oh, it's close. It's good. What a game. margin just 7 points with 11 1/4 minutes left.
Well, there's the Roos are the ones now who are not to be denied. Carey again with the quick hands. As long as they can keep reaching Wayne Carey at centre-half forward, they're in with the chance. Often they've struggled, but this time on to Longmire. Great second goal.
Ishenko got up high, taken away by Rock. Kicks high towards centre-half forward. Richmond a chance here through Miranda. Off the ground. Out into the path there of Nick Daffy. Can he get around? Yes. Gets the hand pass. Gale misses it. Forced forward by Scott. Taken by Turner and knocks it over. Oh, controversial! Oh, you're a game umpire, Andrew Coates. Nearly got his head knocked off too. Running into him was Matthew Armstrong. The kick towards half forward. Is that a mark? Yes, it's been paid to Greg Deere across that half-back line for Richmond. Gets the hand pass to Bauer. Finds Miranda. Close to the line. Miranda, good kick. Lovely mark. Terrific mark. Made it his, Stephen Jurica.
Just
and
on. Been on 8
on.
seconds.
Kicks it towards the 50-metre line. No mark. No free kick. Back goes Smith. Tackled, but it got his kick away. Back towards the wing. Terrific mark by Gale.
Brendan Gale, he wore the brunt of Stephen Jurica just moments before and slowly got up to recover and now throws himself back into the fray. Tremendous stuff.
8 marks and now 15 kicks for Brendan Gale. But that's not one of his best. It might be lucky, though. Kellaway. No distance with a left footer. Campbell high. Off hands to Smith. He's caught the tackle. Stolen by Broderick. It's a goal. Oh, it's a poster. Oh, well, it's still 2 kicks the difference. 8 points is the margin at the MCG with under 10 minutes left. And Paul Broderick has had 26 possessions. And Wayne Campbell has been brilliant as well. He's had 16, but he's kicked 3 great goals. Stevens takes the mark for North Melbourne. This game will not die. Do not go to bed early.
You couldn't, could you? It's fantastic. Friday night football alive and well. The kick towards the wing. Nearly attempted kick off the ground there by Scotty Turner. Somehow squeezed a kick out, but only as far as Anthony Stevens. From half-back, he kicks it over the top of the wing to half-forward. Brett Ellison and Nathan Bauer. Ball spills for a throw-in. 9 minutes left. The Richmond bench.
McKernan, he was dead a minute ago.
Doing the ruck work up against Greg Deere. Broderick bashes it clear. Only as far as Schwass. Back to Stevens. Dumped by Kellaway. Mark taken by Rock. Momentum with the Kangaroos. Kicking towards half forward. King into an open goal. He's kicked it. North Melbourne right in it. David King's first goal. The margin just 2 points in favour of the Tides.
Well, more and more North Melbourne players are finding the run that they lacked in the first half. David King's the one this time providing it through the centre of the ground. And that's been the trademark of North Melbourne sides when they're successful. They've been aggressive runners from half-back through the centre of the ground. Very stagnant in the first half of this game. But now, when it really counts, starting to gather that momentum.
2 points the margin. Another free kick in the middle. And once again to Richmond, to Deere. Actually, the free kicks are North Melbourne's way by a long way, 21-12. Gale has been superb in the air. He's been a bit like Wayne Carey at the other end, except he hasn't kicked the goals. Kick by Gale in the goal square, Jurica. Free kick to North Melbourne. And it'll be taken by Ross Smith, I believe, or Fairley. Quickly taken by Smith. Over the head of Anthony Stevens. He's got a cut to the top of the head. Wayne Campbell's got a cut over the eye. He'll just about need plastic surgery. The kick by Stevens up towards centre wing. It's close to out of bounds. Run over by Bauer. And a throw in. 8 minutes 20 left in the game. The crowd tonight, 51,247. Perhaps slightly disappointing, the 51. Gee, a lot of people have missed a great game.
Haven't they ever? Wayne Schwass high over the top. Bauer close. Eventually over. throw in again.
We just saw the graphic there with the centre bounce breaks for this quarter, with Richmond 6 to North Melbourne 1. The critical factor has been many of those have been as a result of free kicks, with too many North Melbourne players in the square or breaking the centre square area.
8 minutes left. 2 points the margin. Archer doing some warming up on the boundary line. Campbell doing the ruck work up against Blakey. Bauer. Campbell. Missed it. So did Robert Scott. Blakey's got it. Forces it across his left shoulder. The bounce all important at centre-half forward. Richmond try to make it theirs. Knights nearly got it. Bullis went in. He's still in there, Paul Bullis. And at least he holds it up for the Tigers. It's at right half forward for North Melbourne, about 75 metres from their goal. Richmond lead 15-9 to 14-13. It has been a terrific performance by North Melbourne. They were 38 points in arrears in the third quarter. And they could still steal the game. 7 minutes left.
Who'd be a coach?
It's a tough caper, isn't it, when the games are this close? Richmond try to clear the half-back line. Bullis. Dragged to the ground there was Bauer. Schwartz squeezes a kick. Scott gets past. Robert Scott from deep in the right forward pocket. Kicks across the face. The ball comes to the back. Rogers. A good little kick. He weighted that beautifully. He saw Daffy. Daffy missed it. And in went Stevens and just made it. So important because the Tigers were away. Nick Daffy maybe took his eye slightly off the ball. And it's still back in the centre of the ground. Well, the bounce was awkward for him. He didn't take his eye off the ball.
He can get bowled by a Yorker even if you're watching it. Down goes Callaway. Campbell a little hand pass. Broderick has been sensational. Broderick, he's kicked a couple of goals. He went for one too many bounces. He's gone. He breaks the tackle. Gale, 45 metres out. Kick drops short onto the chest of Anderson, and Anderson's little kick out of defence finds Freeborn. Away to Smith. Gee, it's one end to the other. And we have 6 minutes remaining in the game. 2 points to lead to Richmond. The kick towards centre wing. Allison under the ball. Hits the ground hard. Goes again. Knights first back there. Dodges Carey. Turner's come right up the ground. Kick by Turner is just a bit too high. Gale couldn't take the mark. Schwartz, his shadow has been bombed. The ball is out of bounds, centre wing. Let's take a breather.
How do you take a breather? The intensity is enormous. Centre wing boundary throw in, 5.5 minutes left. Richmond lead by 2 points. Callaway, a two-fister, only as far as Schwartz. Schwartz off the right foot. Allison tries to get it to right. In there goes Knights. Terrific stuff there shown by Greg Deere. He threw himself at the football and just stopped that North Melbourne surge forward. Repeating, North Melbourne trailed by 38 points halfway through the third quarter. And it's just 2 points in it at this stage.
I wonder in bars and homes in America and Europe, they reckon we're mad playing this game.
Well, Richmond strive to force it forward, but it breaks down. David King is marked in front of Mark Miranda. David King, he kicked a very important goal earlier in this term. He runs around and kicks it to within scoring distance for the Kangaroos. In front, no, it's a mark to Carey. And if he kicks this goal, North Melbourne lead by 4 points. He's kicked 5. Bullis early. Carey judging it just a little bit better. Certainly a mark. Carey from only 35 metres directly in front. Kicks. I think he's hooked it. Anti-climax, folks. 1 point in favour of Richmond.
What an all-important last 4 minutes this is. North Melbourne lost 3 games on the trot, got back up against West Coast Eagles last week. It's so important they back it up with another win here tonight in the side of going in against Carlton next week. North Melbourne have got to work hard in these final minutes to take it.
Kick towards the outer side. Carey to make amends. A fantastic mark by the skipper. He plays on with Deere on the deck. A raking kick by Carey to the goal square. Allison's there, punched out in front. Rock, snap, goal! Well, how much of that goal is down to the skipper, Carey, who must have been disappointed missing the previous kick. Look at this, Wheels.
It's tremendous. And what's great, he's up quickly, sees the gap, puts the ball right in the goal square, really putting the Richmond defence under a tremendous amount of pressure. Maxfield does the right thing and spoils, but there's Rock right there.
Centre bounces now. Centre breaks, all important. Tape couldn't get through. Still strives. Callaway can't get past. And North Melbourne through Anderson and Schwass hold him up. 5 points now, the lead for North Melbourne. Tony Jewell. Is it going to be snatched away from you?
What a great shot of Tony Jewell there. As the blood rule have Duncan Callaway coming off, but Tony Jewell during the week indicated that coaching at VFA was his most enjoyable part of coaching. Coaching at league level, no one can enjoy that, he says.
Well, this is interesting because Callaway's been sent to the interchange bench. He's being attended to by the doctor. Richmond are going to force a double change here. Dundas and Charles to come on for Callaway and Greg Deere.
Tactically a good move there because the umpire has to wait for Matthew Dundas to get into position to replace Duncan Callaway, and it's also giving now Justin Charles time as the ruckman to get into position to take this ball up. Well worked, the Richmond bench.
So the umpire to bounce just in Richmond's forward half. Charles gets his left hand to it. Very important possession here. Blakey got it. Kicks it to half-forward. Mark is taken by Carey. No one home in the square. So he kicks it into dangerous ground. Oh, good mark. Excellent mark taken by Bullis. Very important possession there. He can come to this side of the ground. Must do it now. Oh, very dangerous. Prescott, you're in trouble. Bauer, so are you. Go for the line, he does. Umpire will allow a boundary throw in. Down under 3 minutes left.
The work going on for Duncan Callaway. They desperately want him back, even though there's less than 3 minutes to go. Boundary throw in. North back in attack. Anthony Stevens to the point of the square. Allison is there. It comes to him. Oh, well done by Rogers. Broderick has been sensational tonight. The kick out towards the far side. The Tigers still a chance. Tape, who kicked a goal earlier in the game from the last line of defence after a 50-metre penalty. Turner over centre wing, but he blazed, didn't really pick out a teammate. And Freeborn for North Melbourne. Glenn Freeborn in his third game. Carey gets rid of Turner, and Wayne Carey takes his 15th mark, 14th mark, and now 20 kicks. Longmire! And Johnny Longmire could just about seal it with a true kick here.
Well, a great mark from Johnny Longmire over the top of the two Richmond opponents. Very good reach. This is a most important kick. Under 2 minutes remain. Just take your time, John. Take your time.
North by 5 points. Richmond had led by 38 at the 14-minute mark of the third quarter. This for an 11-point lead. He's got it. Longmire's kicked 3 goals, all in the last quarter. But there's time left for the Tigers. A minute and a half, they need 2 goals.
Yes, there is time left, and it's going to call for an almighty effort by all the Richmond players to stand up in this one. Wayne Carey has been the man to do it at the one end of the ground for North Melbourne, and he's now getting quite a degree of assistance from players like Longmire chipping in here. But now it's Richmond. Can you answer this challenge?
Well, I don't think there's enough time left for the Tigers to get 2 goals. Matthew Armstrong takes it away for North Melbourne. Kicks it wide, very, very wide, out in front of young Mark Stevens. And he allows it to trundle over for a boundary throw in left half forward for North.
A very important centre bounce, that one, wasn't it? And Armstrong used it so well, being prepared to go wide and eventually over the boundary line.
Charles, taken by Broderick. 23rd kick for Paul Broderick to half forward. Bond running onto it. No space there for Chris Bond. So the boundary umpire will throw it in.
Gee, McKernan did well then. They actually brought a stretcher out from McKernan not long ago.
51,247 people have been treated to a pretty good game of football. Fantastic contest. Matthew Knight's just all tied up. Broderick again to Daffy. Daffy's kick towards the front of the goals. Up high Eureka. The ball spills to the back. Back goes King. He'll go for the safety of the line. And it's not a bad kick either. Went about 45 metres and bounced over for a throw-in. It's about 85 metres around from Richmond's goal. Down under a minute left. So the Tigers will go down. North Melbourne, gee, it's been a good win when you think about it. They've had about 2 or 3 players badly injured. Laidley was one of them. We thought McKernan. The ball at half forward for Richmond. Anderson and Maxfield nearly deemed as a free kick. Play on. Fairly from centre half back. Kicks towards centre half forward. Mark nearly taken by Bullis. Prescott gets it across to Bauer. Bauer running through the middle. Shrugs the tackle. Gives the hand pass away. Nick Daffy from the centre of the ground. Seconds left. It will roll through for a behind. So the last score of the game will probably be that one. The behind kick by Nick Daffy. The margin 10 points in favour of North Melbourne. They're 16-14. Richmond are 15-10. The kick in has been marked by Ross Smith. And Ross Smith, you'll have the football in the silent sounds. And North Melbourne fans are very, very happy. Wayne Carey, best man on the ground. 20 kicks, 14 marks, 5 goals. And what a fantastic effort by North Melbourne after trailing by 38 points halfway through the third quarter.